Hello everybody, and welcome to good mic quality, because the microphone is actually aimed at me. Hello everybody. Marky, hello. Kangafango, welcome. Everybody else in chat, hello. Yeah, it has been a while. Hello, Hans. So, the last time I had a Trainz stream, I wanted to show you what I've built in the meantime, and then I wanted to do some route building. What we ended up doing is having lots of fun conversation in the chat, me showing you what I've built, and then putting down a station building or something, which is okay because, I use all the other time to build anyway, but today we'll see if we can actually get to some building after I showed you what I've done. Oh, VGR, hello. Counting around today because, oh yeah, they cut the fiber optics, yeah. Well, yeah, it definitely was squirrels. Squirrels cut the fiber optic cables, yeah. Well, they're coming to replace them tomorrow. Okay, that's bearable at least, probably. Yeah, bye-bye. Right, so I think it's time to get started. So this is kind of the area where we last left off. And since then, I have built all this stuff. So I made this station building asset in Blender. So, oh, hold on 1 second. There we go. What if I don't have squirrels in my area? Well, then it was a very angry mouse. Yeah, so this is the station building. And yeah, it's for the 3 trees station. It's got solar panels on top, and I'm quite happy with how this building turned out. Especially in the context of a scene like this. Yeah, so I'm just going to quickly show you around a bit. I have tried giving it editable text, however, I couldn't figure out how to get a more high resolution font in there, so I'm probably going to have to remove that and maybe put in a separate asset, like with a texture or something like that. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this 3D effect turned out, and it's only got very few polygons. Right, so the line comes up here, past here. I'm not sure how much of this was already on the last live stream. Then you come up this way to the depot area. The subway vanishes that way. Over here is the depot. We've still got an old turntable and some scenery done around the edges. And here you've got the carriage sidings for the EMUs with the protected third rails. And you've got crossings for the, crossovers for the main line. And then I've now also decorated this area over here, where this line branches off and then kind of goes through this little industrial area to the station that we kind of built last time, St. Lanark's Lane, which I think now already fits much more nicely into the scenery, even though I've only got a little bit around it. Like, if you're down here, it feels much nicer. And then going this way as well. And I've put in this road bridge, well, for 2 reasons. One, this is pretty much the only way to cross from one side to the other via car, until you get to all the way back here, which might be a little bit far, so I might put in another crossing here or something like that. But the other reason is to kind of separate the scenes a bit, because over here you've got the city and all of that sort of stuff, and then over here you've got the countryside and the forest beginning, and over here you've got the industrial area. So that kind of separates it in a quite natural way, I found. So then if you continue this way, go through the tunnels. When you come out here, you've got all the scenery over here, which I think I may have already showed you last time. Not entirely sure. This is where the road extension is currently being built. And then we've got this flyover here with this branch line. So we've got the station here, and then we've got this branch line coming off from the commuter tracks, going down between the two lines, and then curving down underneath it, and then coming around this way. And then that's going to connect up to the rest of the network over here. At least that's the plan. So yeah, that's the stuff that I've been working on in the city, but most of the stuff that I've been doing has not been in the city. Well, I mean, other than the stuff that I've already showed you. Those green side panels were they already green when you got the texture? What do you mean? The green side panel. Oh, you mean from the three trees station? Do you mean on the side, this? No. The actual texture that I took, like the actual photo, only had like it was just the windows and then the two panels beneath it, and then I cut those out, copied them over, and then changed the hue and the saturation of the middle ones. So no, that is not the case. Also, most of the textures from this asset did not come geographically from where you might expect them. So yeah, we were over here. Oh right, yeah, of course. I also connected all of this up with scenery. This is of course not finished because of the line that's going to be over there. But yeah, all of this stuff, which I'm pretty sure I already showed last time, but I'm not 100% certain. Anyway, oh, there's more chat. MG, the way out signs are unlit. This is a district line service to Questhorpe Lane. Next station is 3 Trees. Change here for Quick Mirror Connect services to Hadley Head, Quickmouth, and other destinations, as well as other district line services. Please mind the gap between the train and its form. Quiltmere. Yeah, Quiltmere. Sure. I remember. Right, so you continue this way. And if you go through... Also, I did decrease the speed limit to 25 miles per hour for these crossovers, which... I mean, it's an appropriate speed for the sharpness of the crossovers, but it doesn't feel that realistic to have all the high-speed trains slow down, even if they're just going straight through. So I'll probably end up reworking these flyovers to allow for 80 mile an hour through trains, or at least faster through trains than we've currently got. Yeah, so that's on the list of things to do. But yeah, if you go this way and just follow this line along, just along here, along here, along here. Eventually we'll get to the area where I started building the route, which is right here, this little junction. And previously, all of this was just grid over here. But now I've actually done a bit of scenery. I updated the scenery by the junction here a little bit. Over to here, I did a little bit of work, but this isn't my primary area of focus over here. Instead, I focused on the line continuing that way towards Oscombe. So So I've got this lovely little overhead here. Well, bridge, overhead bridge. And then the line continues through the countryside. Underpass, overpass, yeah. Then crosses this little river. And there's also a little ford over here. And then the line continues and slowly goes uphill, with an uphill grade. And there's a little estate over here with some fun little Easter eggs and stuff. And then the line goes further uphill with a little dirt track joining it. And I noticed that if you're in the cab, you don't really see the road on the left. So I put a little tractor on here so it's clear that there's actually a little road there. And then as you come to the kind of the crest of this hill, you see it's all downhill all the way back to there. But when you come to the crest, it crosses this little valley on this embankment, which I think turned out really nicely. And over here you can see all the way to the ocean, all the way back there, this little bridge, and we'll get to that soon. And then as it curves over this way, it goes straight into a tunnel with a bridge above, which isn't quite finished yet, but because I need railings and stuff like that. But yeah, it goes straight in here, comes out over on this side, which is scenery that I've built quite a while ago, where it then goes fairly steeply downhill and comes to the Y over at Oscombe. So if you go straight, then you get to Oscombe Beach, and all of that stuff back there is old scenery. But if you take the left side of the Y and go this way, you can see that I did a whole lot of work on building the town on this hill. And yeah, that took quite a while, but I'm really happy with how it's turned out. And then you get to Oscombe Town Station, where again, all the scenery up there is new. And also the scenery going forward from this point is new as well. So from here, you set out and then go this way. You can see a little access roadway. And then I deliberately pulled in the forest quite close on the right, because over here you've got the ocean, and I didn't really want to reveal the ocean slowly by you approaching it, so I wanted to hide it on the side. And so you continue on with trees overhanging a bit, which in the UK is really quite common. So in other countries, maybe not, there would be a bigger margin, but in the UK, the trees and things are really quite close usually to the tracks, and overhangs are really common. Right, so then you come over to here, and then as you come to this long left-hand curve, you see the ocean as it's revealed to you, with a little park on the side where you've got some benches, some lovely flowering trees, and some palms with a path going along here. Now this path continues alongside the tracks and comes to this kind of seawall section, which is a bit reminiscent of the Teignmouth section in Devon. So so these are all separate objects that are placed on top of the textures, because these are PBR textures, and if I didn't have the rocks there, you would get all sorts of weird glitches from the PBR-ness of the textures, the parallaxing. It looks much better this way anyway. Right, so the actual path goes down onto the little seawall here. And then here the tracks begin to climb as they follow along here. And people on Discord already know about these builds because, well, I posted pictures. Right, and then you've got this little area here where you can actually watch the trains go by on ground level, because back there you've got the high walls, you wouldn't really see much. Also, I did put quite a bit of thought into what the town over here looks like on the hill from afar, and that's why I put the cliffs in there and the little trees, like the tall trees, like the poplars, whatever they are, so as to strike a more deliberate, more detailed appearance from afar. Even if you go up to it, it's just well, I can show you what it looks like if you go right up to it. If you go right up to it, it just looks like this, but from afar it looks a lot better. Right, so then the line continues to climb as well until you get to this little mouth here. We've got these sandbanks, little rowing boat, it's been abandoned there. And this is the bridge that we saw previously, because this is the coastal line, and the line we were on previously, but there's a road crossing there, but previously is this embankment up here. And so you can kind of go this kind of U shape, going down here, going along the Y, and then going up this way. And yeah, so then you cross over here, got a little road going underneath, with a lovely little residence there who've got their own access to the beach. I was thinking about having just a gap there, but I decided to keep the wall because, well, the wall is a defense against waves and seawater, so having some steps going over it seemed like quite a British thing. So yeah, so you cross the bridge, which by the way also has a slight curve in it on one end, and then you go under this tree and right into the tunnel. And on this side I really like the view when you're coming out of the tunnel, because as you emerge from the portal you've got the shadow and the tree on the left hanging over, you've got the bridge and the sea being revealed as you cross over, and you see the town in the distance. It's a really lovely view, I think. Also the footpath goes underneath and then up there and then continues that way over to some bus stops over here. Anyway, the line goes into the tunnel, goes under the hill, comes out of the tunnel, and then you see Sorabamouth, where you cross over this bridge, which the bridge itself has been placed a long time, but I'm now in the process of integrating it into the scenery. So you go through here, emerge out there, and yeah, there's Sorabamouth as it is so far. It's not finished. Like for example over here I still need to put buildings in all of that area and actually expand the quayside a little bit with some docks and maybe some cranes or maybe some transloading facilities. But anyway, you come up on this really quite high embankment, follow through here, cross over this bridge, which I really love how this looks, like this tall embankment with a bridge going underneath it, that you can just imagine like back in the day the steamers racing across there. And yeah, anyway, the terrain kind of catches up with the track. I mean, the tracks are mostly flat at this point because they need to get up on the embankment on the other side again. They do go down a little bit on this stretch, but they're mostly flat. It's the terrain that catches up with the tracks. So you come across here, and then you've got the little branch line joining here, which we'll have a look at in a bit. This is also not finished yet, this little area over here. And then, yeah, you've got the palms over here. And then you come into Sorabamouth Station. So there you go, Sorabamouth. And I also really like how this station turned out. This just placeholder the train. With the station being partially on a curve with the elevated building on top, and I really like the color scheme coming together from like the black bricks and the dark bricks of the bridge as well, and the black railings. I really like how that turned out. Anyway, so yeah, this is the station. And then from here the line continues along, past some fairly new developments, and then goes out and connects over there. We'll have a quick look around Swordsmith first. There are quite a few Easter eggs hidden around the place over here, in Swordsmith as well. So yeah, lots of hand-placed buildings, deliberately placed buildings and designed scenery. A little basketball court here and a little park. And yeah, of course, the classic British assets. And I've also decided to put in quite a few of these shortcuts with the bridges, where normally you'd have to go all the way around in a car, but you've got these little shortcuts if you're on foot. Like there's one here, there's one going over here, there's one that cuts up here. So yeah. Then of course you've got some shops on this side, and a church on the hill, with some stables on the side. And yeah, I've tried to alternate the building placement, where over here it's kind of going from left to right, and then here it's going along the length of the tracks, and here it's going from left to right again, then along the tracks. And then over here, I thought about having go left to right, but there's so little space here with such a strong gradient that this really is the best option. Right, I'll read chat and then we'll continue. Oh, you made him green! Yeah. Can you have diverging speed limits though? Yes, I can. Like this, that was about the Swanley. No, not Swanley, Duckley. Swanley's the original. I can have diverging speeds where it only goes down if you actually cross over. But because of the way that this is laid out, the junction's already so sharp with the tracks being in the middle. So this kink in here, where you're coming along and then there's this kink over to the left or over to the right, that's really the bit that's got to have you slow down if you're just coming across. And I could make this go straight from here over to the left or have it be a broader curve, but then this would have to be much steeper if I want to keep all the crossovers in this little space. So I would have to push the crossovers back here, but then you've got them in a curve, and putting junctions in a curve is really not a fun thing to do. So I'll need to figure out how I want to solve this. Like I could have some of the crossovers be here, and then maybe some more past the junction, or maybe all the crossovers are here past the junction on this long straight bit, and then it just goes straight through here maybe. There are ways of solving this, but just putting a diverging speed limit in wouldn't really fix it. Anyway, right. Chat. Ocean, oh, bloody gorgeous scenery, honestly. I want to, like, live there. I'm glad. Gosh, rail tour sessions on this route would be amazing. I'd love to help out and make some. Thanks for the offer. Ballast and tracks fit so well too. Yeah, and I put the... Like, over here, you've got the reddish ballast color that fits very well with the red sands and all of that along here. However, over here you've got the kind of more regular grayish brown color, and so I put the kind of the break where it changes in the tunnel, in the middle of the tunnel, where you're the least likely to see it. So on this side it's the brown, the reddish brown, on this side it's the brown gray. And I find that that's really quite well hidden. And then over here, like that's one feature that is really nice in Train Simulator, like Dafting Games Train Simulator, where you can just have two tracks and then like ballast colors, two track types, and then you can select them and dynamically generate a transition between the two. But that's not a thing in Trains. So yeah, and over here, it's the same sort of thing, because over here you've got this brownish gray color that's connected to the entire other network. But over here you've got the brown, the red brown going along the red cliffs, of course. So you might think that I made the change in this tunnel as well, but I didn't, because over here I do intend to have some red rock cliffs and stuff over here as well, where that wouldn't really fit. So instead I just did it by the bridge, because the bridge has these other tracks as well, where it's just the sleepers that are directly connected to the rest of the bridge's structure. So on this side it's the reddish tracks that connect to it, and on this side it's the brown gray tracks that connect to it. So yeah. Jacaranda trees. Rock objects for days. The defo with it, yeah. You need made of marble Oscom sign on that middle bit. If I really want to go for the Tinmouth thing, then I would need that, yes. But I don't really want to lean too heavily into that. There was sand in the rowing boat. Yeah. Yeah. It was supposed to be like that. Oh, that's funny. Do those overall steps need railing? Oh, you mean the ones over the wall? These ones? No. No, they don't. Was Swordsmith inspired by any specific real-life towns? Nope. It's just a custom town that I knew I wanted to have here because, well, for one thing, you've got the estuary right here, so in terms of a living place, it would be very sought after for access to the sea and a sheltered harbour and access to towns and settlements along this and the river that comes out here. So it's also the mouth of a river, and you've also got, well, it's a defensive position as well, and from a gameplay point of view, it's, if you want to go from along the coastal route, then you would otherwise only have Oscom and Hadley Head as the two main towns along this kind of red coast area. And so having one directly in the middle is really important, especially also for spacing reasons. So I knew I wanted to have a town there. I needed it to have a town here. And so I put the tracks in. I knew that they had to go up to the bridge height to cross over. So I just let the terrain. I built the terrain so that it makes sense, so that it comes up to the track height for a lot of this, for a bit of variation, because I don't want to have the whole thing be on an embankment. And then I knew that I needed to have the terrain quite hilly here to give the shape of the estuary, and also to make sure that it makes sense to have a little river flowing through here instead of having that river join up with the estuary itself, which I actually still need to work back there on that whole bit, but that'll come when it comes. And then I put the station where it makes sense, because I knew I want to have a little branch going along the estuary. So I put the station right after the junction, because, well, that makes sense where it would be. And then I just let the rest of it kind of flow around that. I started with choosing which type of station I wanted and where I wanted to have crossovers. So I decided I want to have an overhead building station. So I put in the road bridge, and I knew that the road was this high up on this side and needed to come down. So I didn't want to have that be the case on both sides, so I pulled the hill in a little bit closer, so it joins right up to that height, which also makes more sense why you would build a station building up high this way instead of on the ground, which is easier, assumedly. And then, well, I decided where I wanted to have the other road crossings. So I put one in there, put one in back here, And then I just connected it all up and tried to have as much variation as possible in terms of building type, building orientation, parks, and things like that. For example, when I filled out the roads here, I could have just had a couple of horizontal roads next to each other that are occasionally connected between them. But instead I put in these diagonal roads and these curved roads over here to just kind of mix things up a bit over here as well. So yeah, I'm not really inspired by any specific real life town. That's a great beach ball asset tool. It's on my PL1 map if you're interested. So realistic with the shortcuts. Do you also have trampolines in some gardens? Yeah, I mean, I do. I've got trampolines. Here's one, for example. Right. Oh, gotcha. The kink. Oh, yeah. Yeah, some crossovers before the curve is a good idea. Hi! Oh, hello, Slovak Eagle. Got stuck doing industrialization railway on an off-world colony. As you do. How you doing? Well, I'm streaming Trainz for the first time in quite a while, showcasing what I've built. Oh, does the ballast change in the tunnel? Whoa, that's neat. Ballast brown, grey, hot. What? I didn't say that. After the bridge. Very unlikely for players to notice. Yeah, well, that's the point. Hey, that's your terrace building. Yeah, it happens. Oh, there's a bot there. Right. Transitions to 1950s helicopter sound. Gosh, this kind of makes me want to stream Trainz again. Well, go ahead. PL1 allotment building or something. Been a while. Last time I did was with the new Shellbrook 2 months ago. Right. Sure it is. Alright, not inspired by a specific time. Yeah. No, the beach ball asset tool. What? The beach ball asset tool. I'm not sure what you mean by it. Which beach ball asset tool is there? Like, these are the tools in Surveyor 2.0, and I don't know of any beach ball asset tool, sorry. 2. Oh, right, yeah. Could quickly nip... No, I don't... No, not yet. I don't want to get into that. I know that asset exists, and I've already put it somewhere. I'll put it I'll use it again. It's just not at the moment. Just running grain hot, not beach ball asset tool 2. Okay, anyway, so let's quickly finish the showcase over in this direction, and we'll do the branch. So as you come out of Sorpmuth, you once again go onto this embankment where you've got the beach with seagrasses and stuff on the beach grasses on the right, and then this little road with a wooden railing that kind of goes along the wetland on the side. So you go along here, then you cross over this little bridge here, or this little bridge here if you're on foot or on bike or in a car. And then this is, on the left, is scenery that I've already built, which is the Y where it connects onto the high-speed line. Well, I say high-speed, the higher speed line. And then on the right is the section of the Y where it just carries along, goes under here, and then connects up to this line that way. And then that goes over towards Eisenbridge and Midge Switch. I didn't do any work back there, as far as I'm aware. Did I? I can't remember now. I might have. No, I didn't. Right, so just a little brief view as you're coming around here. So you're coming from Midge Switch, and you see the ocean and the coast, and then you see the cliffs over there, the sandy orange cliffs, and then you see Sorpmuth and the bridge. So then you go along here, turn left, and then you come across this embankment as it opens up. Get a nice view of the little stone bridge there because of how it's angled. And then you come in here. Also, yeah, there's a little esplanade down here. That's also nice. But yeah, so then you come through here, get into Sorpmouth Station, and then you either go this way, through the tunnel, out the other side, over the bridge, and then along here, over into Oscombe, or you go the other new line, where if you turn right here, and this is not completely finished yet. So for example, I need to put grass plants over here and buildings over in that area and over here, but well, yeah, work in progress. So this little line won't be electrified, this will be diesel. The main line will be electrified, but this will be a little diesel line. So just comes around this sharp little bend underneath here, and then continues to curve around past these back gardens, comes underneath here, and then it begins to follow the estuary along. So you come over here to this little beach and the little station. I'm so glad I found a use for this little station halt asset. This is a really old asset. This is called Mary's Crab Shore, which is this little beach. And you've got this little connection under here, this little access way for beachgoers. Again, not completely finished, like there needs to be houses on here. And the fields need to be, well, better. So yeah, you've got this little station there. And then there's also access to the beach down there. Come over here, cross over this little crossing, which is it's got 15 mile/h speed limit here with good views either side. I still need to put phone boxes here, like crossing phone access. And over here you've got these little apartments, houses. So then you come over here, this is also not finished over there. But then you follow the estuary along here, with a road coming down to join the tracks. And then the road kind of goes up there over the hill, but the tracks have to lose height and go, so they go down along the shore. This is where you've got the ferry, which comes here. It's this car ferry that connects there, and then I still need to connect this with a road, and I'll put some little settlements over on this side as well that it connects to. Then the tracks continue this way, following the shoreline, and then it gets this really tight little area there where the shoreline actually just went up this way, but instead of going through there, they decided to put a little retaining wall up for the tracks to kind of really hug the waterline. You've got some lovely overhanging trees as well. So this comes around there. And then you get over here to this little village, where you've still got an old water tower, which can be used for like steam rail tours or stuff. And this is a terminus. So as you can see, it's quite a small station, really only 2 cars fit in here, maybe 3 on platform number 2. But yeah, a really quite small station. Also, Marquee, do you recognize this station building asset? Lovely asset. Right, so over here, it's basically just houses and a few little shops along the main through road. Not finished over here. I think I'll put houses along here as well, just to increase the size of this village a little bit. You've got some old storage warehouses back when this was still receiving goods. You've still got an old crane as it on the platform where the trucks were being loaded or unloaded. And this is still seeing some use, just not for rail transfer. Then over here you've got a little pier, some boats docked. And then, yeah, this is the road that just continues this way and then goes up to Benswood Junction, which well, I might change that name, we'll see. Right, so, yeah. By the way, this little village is called Lunton. Lunton, Lunton. Yeah. So over there, you can see this is the other little town that I started building when at the very beginning of the route, Hepperswaith. And you can actually look across from here to the other village over there on the estuary, and that'll look really nice when it's finished. And you can even, like if you're standing here, you can even see the top of the church tower, like the Swordmouth church tower over there. So if I fly all the way over there, you can see that's actually the top of the church tower. Yeah, so I'll just give you a quick little look of the line going the other way. So from here down this way, yeah, you've got the fields, an old little tugboat that's no longer being used, shall we say. And then as you come around this corner, you can see the ferry and the bridge. Go across here. Again, this little bit here is not finished either. I need to put a fence along here and some bushes or grass along in these little spaces. And then this goes here to Mary's Crab Beach. And then along here to connect back up to the station at Swordmouth. So yeah, that is Mary's Crab Shore, sorry. Yeah, it is a little beach and a shore. So yeah, that's what I've built since last stream. I've also put a whole bunch of Easter eggs around the place. And by the place, I mean the route. Right. Oh, it was a pun on tea, Earl Grey hot. I see. That's fine. Wetland, slosh, slosh, slosh. Will Swordmouth Esplanade get light strings as well? Maybe. I don't know. Perhaps. Oh, and Lady Mary lived right opposite the station in that white building. Maybe. Who knows? Whoa. Whoa, this looks good. So good. Nice. Bear Fairs. Is that Bear Fairs or Barry Fairs? I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Station. Yeah, it's the one you uploaded. I think you... yeah, it's one of the ones that you made 3D windows for. I'm not sure if it was originally an older asset without 3D windows, but it definitely looks so much better with 3D windows than it would do without them. It's just, even if you're just panning the view a little bit, it just makes it feel so much more realistic. Oh, by the way, this is what the map view looks like currently. So you can see the amount of scenery work that's been done along this whole bottom area and up here as well, along this whole area. Right. Crane jib thingy. Updated it not too long ago. Jib jib jib. With 3D windows, yep. Good improvement. Lunton. What was the junction crossover station called again, sorry? Well, at the moment I'm calling it Benswood Junction, because the big forest area here is called Benswood. And then that would be Benswood Junction, but I'm maybe not 100% satisfied with that name. I might call it something else. I might rename it. Steeple. Church's steeple, yep. Yeah, it is short. Right. Almost now hour worth of content, yeah. And that's just you flying over it. If you're actually going by train, then it's going to take you a little bit longer. Oh, and red BR signals for London. What do you mean? Add red BR... Oh, signage, not signals, signage. Yeah, I've not really done detail on stations yet. The map, it looks so small. Yeah, it does look a bit small when you look at the map, just like... When you look at the map like that, it does look a little small. Yeah, I agree. On the station wall, maybe? Maybe. It's... I will have to go over all the stations and add scenery like signs and lights and benches and flowers and roofs and in a lot of cases like canopies and stuff. It's like, that's a pass that I'll do at the end. But then you got so much stuff there. Yeah. Yeah, like if you zoom in, like I would love it if if N3V updated the map and reverted it back to the way it was previously, where the colors weren't so dark, or at least you could highlight the... Actually, if I go into map settings, if I turn off... where is it? Can I not turn off the textures? I thought I could. I guess I can't. Hold on, if I go into this grid mode, nope. This grid mode, nope. I thought you could disable the ground textures. No, this is just the F9, the function F9. Strange, maybe they removed that, or maybe I'm misremembering it. Right. But yeah, so, I mean, you've got one line, you've got the line that, the main line that comes around this way, and then down here, and then the high-speed line goes down this way, and then connects down there, goes through here, and the scenery's not been done in this area yet. And then up at Duckley, the other line branches off, goes across here, and then down along here to Hadleyhead, with a Y over here in Oscombe, where it goes along the shore and connects up there, and then you've got that little branch line going up this way. And then, of course, you'll hopefully have all of these lines in the city as well. We'll see how much time I have to finish that stuff. We'll see. Right. On HD terrain, the dark textures are fixed, never were broken. No, I mean, like, in older versions of Trainz, the map textures were much brighter. Like the actual, like for example, on the grid, like the grid texture, if you take the color value of this gray area there, like you see how bright that is, and then when you zoom out, the actual map color of that texture was the same, had the same value. So it would be as bright gray. So yeah, I think that they just updated it to be darker on the map view, I think in TRS 19 at some point. Maybe to highlight the text so you can better read texts displayed on top or stuff. Or maybe so you can see the blue of the tracks better. I don't know. I know what you mean. On HD terrain, that is not an issue. Ah, so it's brighter then. It's like the old. Ground grid. No, that's the same as F9. They broke it with the HD terrain update for regular terrain, but HD terrain always worked. Sure. I don't have access to that, so I can't tell. Will there be a place for the fictional BR class 463 network and railcar idea or not really? I mean, if it's a third rail vehicle, then why not? I mean, if it's designed to be an express thing, then you can have it go from like the terminus. Sorry. You can have it go from the terminus up around there as an express train, maybe only stopping in Duckley for connecting services, and then going all the way around here to the the big port town. It'll be over in this bit, because that's like the express route, the primary one. Like, but if that were an asset, I mean, why not? So with an hour in, let's actually get to some route building. Well, I suppose we might as well continue where I last left off building, which is this little area over here. So I was just in the process of filling this up with houses. So by the way, when I build towns, I tend to I kind of vary the feeling that I want. So, like for example, over here, this used to be an industrial area with warehouses and stuff like that. But then recently some of it got rezoned and these new flats were built for that. And so over here by the seaside, you've got some bigger lone standing houses because that's higher value property there. But then over here, you've got kind of the old town houses just on the hill. That's probably down and around here, the oldest part of the town, actually. But then over here, you've got some more somewhat recent developments. Like the buildings on here were probably quite old because of this promontory, along with some alone standing houses here. But then you've got, I want some more recent, newer development along here, just to contrast that. And then we might need some sort of transition from that. So probably more older houses along this bit, because this road going along here and this crossroad is probably really old. And then maybe some more modern stuff over here, right adjacent to that, as some nice contrast. Promontory, yeah. Maybe also have a seaside hotel too. Yeah, I mean, I was kind of thinking that maybe some of this could be used as a hotel, like these big buildings right here with the palms and this great seaside view. Like that might be some hotels. Right, so let's just keep building. Over here, I've already used some of the CL houses. So let's have a look on the DLS if there are any more that I haven't downloaded yet. Okay, so let's download these ones. Look, these, actually you can't see it like that. These outhouses there, they're placed on the exact same sand texture that I've used, like the PBR sand texture that I've used for my beach. Although, hold on, it's the other one. It's the one over here. It's that exact same sand texture that they're on, like with the pebbles. It's this one. There we go. Yeah, that one. Why do you need so many outhouse assets? I mean, I get it's funny, but really, come on. Ooh, these look nice. EMTCL UK House Group 1. Let's have a quick look. Open that in a new window. Oh, by the way, here's something I found out recently, which would have been really useful to know earlier, which is like ever since the MVR's building process and trying to optimize that, I realized just how performance unfriendly some assets are. And so now I tend to check the triangle count and level of detail levels that assets have that I use. So I try to use only reasonable assets in that regard. So previously, I always used to, when I found an asset, I always used to go there, see what it's called, open up a new window, content manager, go through it, and then if it's a thing that you've downloaded, like this for example, then if you press, well, on Mac, Control-Shift-R, you get a preview, and then you can see the triangle count up there. And then you can select the distance for the LODs to work at. Now this I don't think has any LODs, but it's a pretty straightforward mesh. I guess you could put in an LOD that gets rid of the chimneys, the chimney tops if you're a bit further away, because that is extra polygons, which I actually have done for my assets. But like this is fine, although it does have 6 draw calls, which is not great, but not terrible. So I recently found out by accident that in Surveyor 2.0, if you select an asset over here, like for example this gorse, then if you right click it, down here you've got list assets in new window, which actually might be behind my face cam. Hold on. Face cam, there we go. Yeah, like so if you right click it, down here list assets in new window, and if you click that, it automatically opens up a new content manager window with exactly that asset. And if you put multiple in there, it opens it with all those assets, and then it makes things so much faster in that regard. It would be really nice if there were like a manual, like a user manual that you could just sit down, read through, and then you would know exactly all of the features that are part of Surveyor 2.0 and exactly how they all work. But as far as I know, a Surveyor 2.0 manual does not exist. Right, so let's have a look. Let's continue to look through a bit. Ooh, CL Brunswick Wharf Warehouse. Say that 10 times fast. Brunswick Wharf Warehouse. Or just Wharf Warehouse. No, Brunswick Wharf Warehouse. Brunswick Wharf Warehouse is more difficult to say than just Wharf Warehouse. So try saying Brunswick Wharf Warehouse 10 times fast. Right. Will there be a... Right. Yeah, fair enough. Made by the late great Clam 1952. We could see it. Oh, nice. Sure, Modeler 2, yeah. 3.6, not great, not terrible. Trainz version. How old is this? Trainz version, 3.5. Not great, not terrible. Yeah, neat. A hardcover TRS-22 Surveyor 2.0 handbook. No, not a handbooklet, no. I want a 752-page manual. Let's have a look. Surveyor 2.0. Yeah. Introducing... Ooh, I see. Introducing Surveyor 220 tools. Very interesting. Is this linked anywhere in Trainz? If you go to view Trainz help, it goes to wiki. That's not that. Get help on S2.0. Nope. How are you supposed to find that? Alright, yeah, and you copy-pasted the whole thing in a lot of times. I'm not reading it all on stream. There is a sidebar that you are not seeing. Oh? Where? Good, good. It is linked somewhere on the N3V pages in the fine print. In the feature overview for the different Trainz editions somewhere. Oh, I see. Oh, do you mean this? Maybe if I make it even wider. There. Oh, come on. You've got to make it this wide to see the sidebar. docs.trainzsimulator.com. That seems like a... Using Server 2.0, yeah. Layers palette. Oh, that's the little window. I had no idea that this existed. Making a forest. Oh yeah, with the scrapbook. Huh. Interesting. Operations interface. Oh right, that's the motorbike being stolen. No, that's the old properties thing. Industry details. Interesting. Frequently asked questions. Oh, where frequently asked questions. Where can I purchase TRS-22? What is the difference between TRS-22 and Trainz Plus? That's the... It's like people want to learn about the game. Okay, let's check out the FAQ. The FAQ is basically, here, go here to buy Trainz. Buy it here. Go here and buy it. Interesting. Right. Very interesting. In the feature overview for the different Trainz editions somewhere. Ooh, this looks very nice. CL Brunswick Wharf Warehouse. That might be able to fit quite nicely over by London. And see, I do tend to do this quite a bit as well. Actually, this would have to... Like, this looks like it's meant for boats to come in and out. But then you've got these on the same height down here. Maybe over here would be good, just on the actual shore. Like that, maybe. Maybe if I change the train slightly. And I do tend to go into Surveyor Classic for the plateau tool because it's just faster than having to go through the Surveyor 2.0 brush settings and change it to the grade tool and then to change the radius and the sensitivity and all that. It's just faster, in my opinion, to go like that and do that. And then I've got to set it into the terrain slightly like that. And then, of course, I've got to connect it. But yeah, I do tend to do that quite a bit as well. If I'm looking for assets for one thing and I find a really nice asset that I've got an idea for, I'll put it somewhere else. Like, for example, over here. So, past midge switch. when you get past where the dam's gonna go. I mean, yeah, I've got like this castle wall segment to remind me that I found these Borgmauer assets that you can use to build your own castle walls. So I put that up there. And then over here, I found these assets, and I thought that would be really nice to put in a little village here. Also this like bridge support, where, I mean, I don't know exactly how deep I want to have this valley here yet, but the idea is to have a big bridge going across and then straight into a tunnel on the other side. And to have the river kind of come out from this valley that goes along that way. And so I found these and thought, oh, well, these would be great over here, so I put those there. And then I thought, well, if we're going to have this bridge here, it might be really nice to have a little town right underneath. So as you're going across, you can just see the little town down there. And then I found this really small church/castle asset, well, church asset, that it has got such a short tower, even though it does have a little turret, but such a short tower that it really emphasizes that feeling of the town down there being really small as you're going across the bridge. Kind of, I want to go for a sort of similar feeling as over here by Merfell village. Over here. We've got this bridge with a little village underneath it, only of course here the height difference is much less than over by the other town, which I was thinking maybe Bramblecross might be a nice word for it. And then as I was building this little diesel branch over here, I was thinking that I don't just want trains going from London via Mary's Crab Shore to what did I call it again? Swordmouth, of course. I don't just want them to going back and forth here, because it literally just takes 4 minutes to go from here down to there. So the diesel services will continue this way. And so I know that Eisenbridge is electrified, so they will stop here because there's basically just a little village anyway. But this is still electrified, so I did want a little bit more non-electrified railway, like a little branch that it can either terminate at or go through. And so I thought that over here, we've got the big bridge going across there. It might be nice to have it branch off here, or somewhere back there, and to have a little non-electrified single-track branch going down this way that then stops at Bramblecross, or whatever I call this village, with a little station here, right in the shadow of that massive bridge going across. So, and then that actually continues and goes under through this huge bridge, and then follows the river valley up a little bit. Probably not too far, but just up a little bit to another little village or something up here, or a quarry or whatever, so that you've got a little bit of additional single track diesel line that connects up to that other place. So yeah, I've got, as I'm building and I find assets and things, I do try to keep in mind the kind of the big picture in a way, like all the other different scenes and spaces and spots where it might be really useful. Let's see, what is this asset like? Let's download it and have a little look in the preview. Oh, I see. So that's meant for a little hill or something. That could be an interesting, like a unique sort of house. CL House 27. That one. We do have quite a hilly bit of terrain here. Although that might be a little bit too hilly for how long this is. Although maybe I could kind of fit it in over here, perhaps, so that you've got access on the back, maybe? How far below the ground? Oh, look! Oh, that's great. I love it when authors extend their houses below the ground. Eagle? That's always nice when the authors of assets actually bother to extend the beneath. Yeah, and you don't know anyone who wouldn't do that, right, Eagle? If you're still here. Right, yeah, so that fits quite nicely there. Although, like, I do like that house there, but the way it's currently orientated, you really can't see the house's kind of special bit, so to say. Because, like, ideally, if it were placed the other way like that, for example, then as you're coming around, you would actually see the special bit of it. But that's not how the asset's kind of made. Like, it doesn't really work well like that. But it does work quite nicely in that little corner. It kind of straddles the line of, like, old looking, like with the big stone along here, and quite modern with the wheelchair friendly access. So yeah, I think I'll use that there. And then, while I am at it, I'll quickly grab... Oh yeah, I still need to finish off this area as well, but we'll get to that eventually. Yeah, I'll quickly grab that path. And that's such a useful feature in Surveyor 2.0, just to be able to hold Alt and then click on whatever you want, and it immediately selects that asset without you having to specifically switch tabs and go into the Get tool and stuff like that. So yeah, let me just connect that up, then slightly make this curve a little bit nicer. Nice. And then while I'm at it, let's get the hedge. The only thing is that it would be really, I mean, I know that with the way Surveyor 2.0 works, where the Get tool is used for everything, like the pin pet. Like if I go here, the eyedropper, and I click there to get the texture, it doesn't, like, it goes into ground texture mode. I can't just, like, but I use the same thing to get the height. If I just want to, like in Surveyor 1, if I want to do terrain manipulation, I can just go to the Get Height tool, and then get the height, and then continue. Like I can just click there, then right-click there, and then I've got the height, and then I can just stop manipulating the height. In Surveyor 2, either, I've got to put the cursor there, and then look at the height value here in the info, copy that out, put that in up there, and then switch over to the brush tool, and then switch over to the set height tool, and then do all the settings. Or if I hold Alt and click, it does get the height automatically, but it also switches to ground texture, and then I've got to switch that over to ground height, and then switch that over to set height, to set height, and then change all the settings. So it was a bit slower, but actually selecting splines like that and then just erasing the grade like that to make it smooth to the terrain, that little extra step of getting rid of the grade is faster than doing it the other way, I've found. And I do get why they did it like that, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to get the grade of what you're doing, really. Anyway, right. And I do not use that term lightly. That would be awesome. Or maybe Bramble. Bramble Cross. Bramble, yeah, I like Bramble more. I think a lot of his assets were made for his Welsh Festiniog railway route. Yeah. Oh yes. Oh yeah, oh yeah. No, absolutely not. Blinks twice in slow motion. I prefer right-clicking and selecting in Asset Palette, as that does not copy the spline gradient. Yeah, I mean, I've got it changed so that I don't have the right-click selected like that. I've bound it to spacebar instead, because in Blender, the context menu is spacebar, at least in older versions. And so I found it really intuitive just to select something and then press spacebar because it's so easy to find to get the context menu. And then I do have select there, but the act of, like for example, if I'm in ground paint mode and I see, oh, I want to do a spline thing, then actually just doing Alt like that and erasing that, I find is much faster than going over to a select tool, then selecting it, then going to context, then going over. And then I would, again, even then need to change back to the add tool and then deselect and then do the thing. If I'm just here like that, and then I Alt click remove, in my workflow that's faster, but everybody has a different workflow. If you switch to the height tool first and then use the grabber, it will not switch you back to texture. That is interesting. That is interesting. Right, so I'll quickly put a little hedge around here, and then I'll leave a little bit of space there because I do want to put on a little driveway like that. And I think that I've already used a driveway asset, like spline asset over here somewhere, maybe. Did I? I think I did. Right? Maybe? Hopefully? At some point? I'm pretty sure. Oh yes, over here. So I'll just extend, I'll just get rid of that, extend this out a bit, although maybe that's a little narrow for 2 cars. Actually, I'll put 2 in. And yeah, that doesn't conform to the terrain. So I'll need to go and just kind of flatten that a bit. There we go. Right, let's do chat. Oh, or Bramley Cross. Bramley Cross? I like the feeling of Bramble Cross because bramble, like the word bramble invokes images of the countryside and of hedgerows and of little country villages and that sort of stuff. So yeah, I like having specifically bramble in there. As in apple? Apple bread? What? No. Also, what's the name of that hedge spline? It is called, hold on, CL space hedge space 01B. I can give you the, if you want, I can give you the KUID on Discord. Actually, tell you what, I can just paste the KUID in there for you. Right. You cross the brambles by means of huge bridge. Yeah, exactly. But, well, I was thinking cross more as in referring to the church, but yeah. Apple breed, I said. Ah, all right, an apple, yeah, I see. Oh, you wanted a Morris? Austin? Maybe. Let's have a look. What's the poly count of this one like? That's almost 1,000. just for a car that's in a spot where you won't really see it. No, I am going to put a car in there, not that one. I'm going to find, yeah, one of these old cars. Yeah, like this red one. Because this detail isn't really used for when you're like when you're just driving normally, you probably won't see this, because your cab, like if you're in the cab, your camera will be down here like that, and that's even without grass over on the side. It's just if you zoom out a little bit, then you'll see, oh, there's actually a car there, which means that's detail. Yeah. Kemplins are great, quite low poly though. Which one did you mean? Do you mean this one by Kemplin? Austin Mini Countryman Blue? Like that's almost 1,000 triangles. And it doesn't have any LODs, unless you meant a different asset. Did you mean like this one? No, that's 893 LODs. And doesn't have any LODs. Like if you look at this, like it in itself, it does look quite low poly, but then you realize that it's like all the windows have a thickness to them, and you've got, well, you've got quite a bit of detail on the fenders and stuff like that. So, and also with how this is cut out, it looks like the flat surfaces, like with all of this rounding back here, it looks like the flat surfaces have edge loops running through them. And that's fine to have, it's just, I would like to have LODs on this if I use it. Like if you're making like a smaller route or a more linear route where you're gonna be out of render distance for a lot of stuff a lot of the time, then that's fine. But I want to be quite conservative, I suppose. Like quite careful with my poly count, because of the nature of the route with this being a network. Like this town over here isn't just going to be rendered on this line, it's going to be rendered on that line going up there, and that line going back there probably as well. So it's, yeah. Right. So that's a house placed there with a hedge that goes a little bit too far in. Hold on. There we go. Right, so I thought I had ones like this already downloaded. Oh yeah, these ones I have. Let's get that one as well. And that one. And that one. CL Incline Winder Engine House. That looks nice. I could use that for a little shed as well. Outhouse 01. Let's get these ones. Whitewashed outhouse. Really? That's an outhouse? Doesn't look like an outhouse. Unless outhouse also has a different definition. CL Custom House. CL House Extension 02. Right, and a lot of these houses are fairly similar to each other. But I will download some more variations, just because then you can fill out an area more effectively without it feeling copy-pasted. Let's get these ones as well. Although actually, Yeah, let's get these ones as well. Right, so now that I've got those, let's search for CL House over here. And then let's just go through some of those assets to fill this in. And this is already, I can already see that this is too big of a space to fill in with like houses that are just on the road. Like if I pick like this house, the custom one, which I actually really like how that looks, but if I just pick this, and even if I put in a garden in front and put it like back like that, then the rear garden would probably come out to around there. And that would still leave all of this area in the back empty. And now I could just change the field boundary to be closer, or I could put like an orchard back there or something like that. But I think it would look better if I filled it in with like little roads, like little alleys, and have buildings on there as well, because that would add to the overall feeling of scale of the town if you zoom out a little bit. Also, actually, let's have a little look on the content manager, because like having a little school building might also be realistic. How many results? Oh, 465, that's not too much. There we go, that looks nice. That heaps lovely engines. Old Victorian school, not quite what I'm going for. Let's have a look. SLM Sound Inform. What is this? Oh, come on. You upload a thing like that with a logo, VTL Trainz, and you call it like SML Sound Inform SL31 School. And then it's like, oh, what kind of asset is this? And then you look and then it's no description provided. I mean, come on. Doesn't take that long to write a few words of description. Maybe these ones? Nope. Right. I will read chat after quickly looking through the rest of this. Because a lot of this I can skip through quite quickly. Ooh, this one, BS Village. BS Village School. Yeah, you've got the right attitude. It's all BS. Let's have a look here. Yeah, that looks pretty nice. Let's see. I will just quickly look through. Oh, there's Marlborough Primary School. That one could look good as well. That one's already installed. Maybe this one would be for a bit more modern. Well, no, that's more shops. Okay, I doubt that there will be good assets to come. Okay, right, so let's have a look on chat. So there's chat. Hello, chat. I've got you now. Haha. And you cannot escape. What? No. Sorry. I tried to hold on to chat, but they managed to escape. Right, so... Oh, search for Triumph. Triumph? What do you mean? Oh, you mean for cars? Oh, you mean these ones? Yeah, that's might be good, but a little bit too old for this area. Like, what I'm going for here is really an old town that's in modern times. So you've got like the newer single houses, like with garages attached, built here, right next to the older houses that might be a couple 100 years old already, and like the really old pubs as well up here right next to the terrace housing and the hotels and the modern bungalows and stuff like that, and the modern houses down here. So having a modern-ish car in this house that kind of looks like it wants to kind of strike a balance between kind of feels quite good. So yeah, it's a lovely one. Got an intense blue one, quite a local one to me, a couple streets over. CL House 56. Ready? This one? Yeah, I got this one. I'm gonna look through the CL houses that I've downloaded. House clothesline. Also the clothes hanger. Yeah, I mean those are nice. Why not? A Victorian house, a schoolhouse, would still be around. It might very well be, but again, I want to have a little bit more of a modern feeling. Like I want to inject a little bit of modernity with that. Sound triggers, I guess? Yeah. But what for? I use offices for schools. That is a good tip. I'll keep that in mind. Thank you. Frankenberg. VTL is Ukrainian Trainz team creating trams and tram networks. I think those might be station announcement triggers. Could be. Oh, I use that one. Marlborough Primary School. Nice. Could call it Jolly Larvae Primary. Happy Maggot Primary? Oh, come on. Hello, chat. Oh no, it ran away. Yeah, it did. Topmost view. I mean, that one, yeah. Yeah, I know you've got... yeah, I know that they are around. I just wanted to feel modern. Inject a little bit of modernity. All right. As long as you don't inject me with it, well, you're watching the stream. And by definition, like, modern means, like, as close to the present as possible. They've got the past that way. Well, that way. And then you've got the future that way. So the present. So I mean, it's not, stuff isn't archaic. It's not in the past. It's not futuristic. It's not in the future. It's modern. It's current. It's in the present. So you are modern. Even if you think that you are, that you've got archaic ways, you're actually arguably not. That's nice. Ooh, I like that. How many triangles does this building have? Just over 1,000. I mean, it does have just over 1,000 triangles, but it's really quite a... I was gonna say that it's really quite a unique looking building, like with that little roof over the door and the the mast and for the flag and the way going through here. However, you can't really see it up there very well. Maybe, well no, down there you wouldn't be able to see it much either. Like if I'm using a building like that has quite a high poly count. I mean, this one isn't that high, but one that has quite a high poly count, I want to put it somewhere where you can actually see it and where it's going to make a difference. Do I want to put in more houses along here? I think I do. At least one over here, I'd say. I don't want to put too many in here because I don't want to block the view looking that way. I'll probably just fill this in with grass and bushes. However, having this house over here might be quite nice. And then we can have a little road connecting it like that. Because that way, hold on, let me see what it would look like. So you're coming this way. Yeah, and then you already see the building there, and then you come, oh, that's a nice kind of duality there, the little arch there and the bigger arch over on the side. That looks quite nice. Now let's see if I did this. Yeah, see, just takes so much longer to set up the plateau tool than it does if I just switch over to classic for a little bit. It's just so much slower. And actually maybe using the other spline we good, the less worn out one, just for a little bit of variety. Straighten that, then I can just move that whole spline over. And then I'm gonna have to put, make a little fence around here, so there's a little backyard that there's access to. And that's good enough for there. Nice. Then maybe let's see what the grid is like at that location. I might be able to put in like a little bit of a cobblestone texture. Maybe. I guess this might look a bit better with, yeah, like that. Actually, yeah, that looks pretty good. Although I do need to put in, do need to extend this slightly and put in another vertex there, and then lower this one down a bit so we don't have that gap. And actually I'll lower this one slightly as well. And then I will put a couple more vertices in here just to smoothen out that curve a little bit. Nice. Right, chat. Even if you are under the impression of possessing archaic tendencies, you are, in fact, modern. True. And if the things you think are archaic and you do them now, then it's just a modern practice to behave in a way that people did a long time ago. So you can't really, like, I mean, I guess you could argue it back and forth, but it depends on how you look at it, I suppose. Watching this is only reminding me of the responsibility I am evading, building a town on CE Mini. Yes. Yeah. I mean, I've got all of this to fill in over here. Like, see, me building this over here is also kind of evading a thing, because I don't just have a town to build. I've got this city to build. I've got this to connect up over to here, and then I've got all of this to build that connects up, down over there, and then all of this stuff. And then once I've done building that, I've got to build scenery a little bit away from the tracks as well, filling in that stuff, but I'll probably do that with I'll probably make a new scrapbook brush, like with low poly city assets. Maybe make a couple of them, and then yeah, that'll be good. Like make a couple of them, then kind of paint in that area with this set of assets, and then this area this set of assets, and then kind of intermingle them a bit to fill in the large areas. But yeah, going back here is nice. Calstock House is nice and modern. Oh, let's have a look. Yes, this one. Ooh, that's nice and low poly too. How would that look over here? Oh, that looks really nice. That's quite a nice striking contrast there on the side. Up here, I like that quite a lot there. Thank you for the suggestion. Oh, that's a bit too low. Nice. Nice. Stone bridge, 2-house archway. One day you will be as big as me. And then I'll tell you all about me bricks and mortar. Fun fact, bricks and mortar is a Cockney rhyming slang for daughter. So me bricks translates to my daughter. Yes. Paradise. Will there be a park near 3 Trees? 3 Trees Park. I mean, you've already got this park over here, this with a little playground crossing over that way, and then, well, maybe. It just, I'm not entirely certain. It depends on how I want to fill this area. Because you've got so many tracks running all the way through here, it really depends on what kind of buildings I want around here and where the streets are going to go. If I'm going to put in another bridge over here maybe, or an underpass maybe. I don't know. I mean, you've also got this little woodland here. And then after that you're already out in among the fields, so we'll see. Also, there's this little park here as well. Also, there's this little tiny little park over here where you can access it with that. Yeah, there's lots of little Easter eggs around. Oh yeah, and here are more assets that I may or may not want to use around here. Right. Back to CL houses. Well, back to school. No, that's not what I meant. No, don't run away. No! I was only joking. I didn't mean it seriously. Right. I think that this would be quite a nice spot for the school. Up here in this little, tucked away in this little corner, because then you've got a really nice view looking out the window, depending on how much I'll fill this up with houses. But yeah, I think that'll be quite nice up there. So actually I might increase the height of this slightly, just to around there, and then have maybe a little parking lot in front. Also, there's one thing I've noticed with the Surveyor 2.0 terrain manipulation brush, which is that it doesn't actually pick the height from the point you click onto. Let me show you what I mean. So in Surveyor Classic, say actually, let's do this over here somewhere in the ocean. So let's say I make this big, let's say I make this, all right, that's not actually 5 meter grid, hold on, let's not do this in the ocean. Let's do this over here where it's flat. Say I make this really big spike like that, and then I go to the plateau tool, increase the radius, and I want to have it be plateaued up to this area. So then I'll mouse over, actually this is not a great example. Tell you what, let's just, yeah, hold on. I'll just do a little hill like that. Go to plateau tool, and then if I click and hold on the top there, see, it goes all the way and goes up to the height where I clicked at. Because I specifically click the tip of this, like that, it goes up to that height. But then if I switch to to 2.0, I go to grade, and then if I click up there, actually hold on, did they? That's weird. 1 second. Did they change that? That's weird. No, there we go. That's the weird behavior that I was looking at. Like now, if I click up there, you can see I click near the top, and you can see that the center of the brush is right at the tip of the. It's right at the tip of the little hill. You can see the brush is centered around it because my pointer is right up there. But then if I click and hold, you can see that the tip of the little hill gets pushed all the way down, as though I'm clicking down here to set the height to this height down there, even though I'm clicking up there to set the height to the very tip, but it pushes it down. If I click on the little corner of the yellow line, it works. It sets it up to that height because it's on the slope. But if I click down there, it's really weird. Like over here, I click down in the middle, but it pulls it all up to the height of the yellow. Like that's really weird. Like it's supposed to take the height. Like if I click in the middle, I want to set it to that height. I click there, but it pulls it up to the height of the yellow thing. And then, but if I go with the old plateau tool and I click there in the middle, it does exactly to that point that I click on. Click up there, click up there, it goes exactly to the height that I click on. So it just feels a bit broken to me, at least if it's supposed to replace the plateau tool. And if the grade tool is not supposed to replace the plateau tool, then I don't know what is, because the set height tool certainly can't do it. Or apply height, or whatever it's called. Maybe the leftmost track going out of 3 trees towards the city could run parallel to the park's outer hedge boundary. Wait, you mean the one that goes left that way? Maybe, but those are the subway lines, so... Or do you mean these ones? So there's a park on the left there. Maybe. Maybe. That's all I can say, maybe. It depends on how the scenery develops. I tend to use parks to fill odd areas where like nothing really fits that well, or where there's kind of a weird little gap. Like for example, here I put in like this row of trees with bushes to fill in this little gap without having to move everything around. over here, I wanted to have, like if you're coming down along here, I wanted to have the feeling of an open space there with a road kind of coming down for the underpass. And so I didn't want to fill this in with more houses, because then you just lose that aspect of it, especially if you're looking around. And then over here, it just got a little bit boring with just houses after rows of houses. And so I decided to fill in a little green space there and then put the houses behind that for a little bit of variation. And yeah, and just little other green spaces in little corners where it feels like I've had a long section of just houses. So yeah, just when it feels like the scenery would benefit from a little bit of green, I tend to put in a little park. Spike, yeah. What seems to be the issue then, yeah. Behaves a bit strangely. Grade and plateau tool are not the same. They work slightly differently. Yeah. But then I don't really know, like I do a lot of detail work, like pulling in terrain very closely to the tracks or pushing it out, or like with the cliffs or stuff like that. I tend to on a very small scale, manipulate the terrain to very specific heights, which the plateau tool is great at. But then when I do it with in Surveyor 2.0 with a grade tool, if I want to set it to this height up here, then I've got to click down here, then quickly move the mouse over and then draw from there to get the height from down there, which is just ridiculous to have to work with the same way. Otherwise, I'd have to use the set height tool, but then I'd have to use the eyedropper tool to get the specific height there, use the set height tool, then do that, then get it each time with that. Whereas with the old tool, it's just every new click got the new height. So if it's not meant, like, I don't know, on the one hand, if N3V say that this tool is meant to replace the old tool, but then don't provide the functionality to fill all the needs that the old tool fulfilled, that's not ideal. But if you want to change it and say, okay, we're doing terrain manipulation a bit differently now, that can be great too. But then you really should provide other tools that allow you to achieve the same goals as efficiently, if not more efficient, than what it was before. And in a lot of instances, Surveyor 2.0 does exactly that. It's just not in all of them yet. Strangely, Lancashire could be a British sister series to Erie, Indiana. You mean a bit like Time Slip? Gotcha. That's Subway. I mean, overpass, underpass, subway. I guess what would be the opposite? Like a someway? What would the opposite of subway? Anyway, well, we started a little bit late. Just tried it out on HD Terrain, and there it works perfectly fine. So I guess it's just that Survey 2.0 was made mainly with HD Terrain in mind. Ah, I see. So it's another instance of things being updated and people being a bit left behind who don't pay the maximum amount of money. But the thing is, even if I did have access to Surveyor, to the Trainz Plus features and were able to make this route with HD Terrain, I still wouldn't want to do it unless everybody, even people with a standard version of the game, are able to at least play it. Because right now, if I made a route with HD terrain, I know somebody without HD terrain can still load it and it'll convert it to 5-meter baseboards, or 5-meter grid baseboards. But that just doesn't look good, because the only reason why you would use the HD terrain is if you want to put in really fine details, and then those details are important, especially if they're close to the tracks. But if you, like, for example here, if I wanted to make this slope up to the road with HD terrain, I could make this slope exactly the shape that I wanted and for it to look perfect. But then if someone loaded the route in non-Trainz Plus mode and it'd be converted to 5-meter grid, then part of the tracks would be submerged in the terrain and part of the road would be floating. So you can't make a route where someone who downloads it or buys it or whatever then tries to run on it and you get that experience. Which means there's really no way that you can use the HD terrain if you want to make routes that are accessible by other people. If you want to publish your routes, you really can't use HD terrain unless people without Trainz Plus can load HD terrain routes and play on them just fine, just not be able to edit them. If you want to edit HD terrain, you need Trainz Plus. If you want to load routes with HD terrain, that's fine. If you did it that way, then yeah, of course I'd use HD terrain in some areas, but or on some routes, depending on what the performance is like. But yeah. There's still a little bit of chat. Oh, hello, Tiger Fire Tiles Gaming 06. Sorry if I misread your name. Welcome. This will be archived on YouTube, by the way. Yeah, I was about to do a playground. Little school playground. Which means... where am I gonna fit? Actually, yeah, I'm gonna fit this over here on the little slope, because that means I can push back the houses a little bit, which means that it's gonna be more visible. So I'm just gonna do that like this, then do a little bit of terrain manipulation. And then I'm going to adjust the height slightly. So just like that. And then these ones, well, this one I can lower down like that. This one just sort of like that, just so it's actually not floating. Yeah, that's nice. And then I've of course got to like put a fence or a wall. Well, I'll put a fence. Oops. There we go. And I think I'll use the chain link fence that I used over here. Nope, that's the FMA instant grass. I need the chain link fence. And then just pull this down and across into the hedge. Then pull this up into the hedge there. And I don't need to put too much detail here in terms of gates and stuff like that. But I will put a group of parked cars. That might be a bit too much. Well, I guess it's fine. And then I'll want a little bit of a fence up there as well, so that they don't run out onto the car park as much, even though it's supposed to be safe anyway. But I'll put a little 3-bar fence in there as well. So where is it? Where is it? I've lost. Oh, there we go. Right. So I'll put it along here like that. So then you've got access on this side and access on this side. And I know they're floating a little bit, but that's fine on the edges. Yeah, so you've just got that little school up there, and yeah, that looks colorful and nice, and it's a little point of interest. So now, is that enough space where if I fill this with houses, would that fill the space out? Like if I, like this house, say its back garden came around like that, then the ones down here maybe up to there like that, which means we've got this whole area empty. So it might be worth just having a little road come across here, straighten that, and then have that come around like this, and then have a little house kind of facing backwards on that little road, just to add a little bit more variety as well. I don't want that to be a particularly high house because I want you to still see the school and playground behind it. So let's try one of these bungalows, although they do tend to be higher than you expect. Although with a garden there, I mean, I want to have buildings on this road here anyway, so having, although I suppose instead of having this just end there, I could put in a straight road section there. Then that would give you an opportunity to look straight up at where the school is, which would mean that you've at least got the opportunity for a line of sight on it. Especially with the gardens of the buildings being on the side. So, let's read chat. Hello, followed a while ago and just noticed he's live. Been enjoying the building episodes on YouTube. Ah, that's nice. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done a root building live stream because I've been mainly building off stream. So I actually did a tour of all the new stuff that I've built at the beginning of the stream, and you'll be able to find that on YouTube in the not too distant future when the archive gets uploaded. It's been over a month since last Trainz stream. Honestly, you wouldn't even want to use HD terrain even if everyone could see full detail. Oh, why not? Is it just laggy or what? Yeah, mental. It's just a pain to work with, and while it has a lot of advantages, it also has an equal amount of disadvantages and limitations. Yeah, I've not had the opportunity to use it, so I don't know. I guess it might just be a special use case sort of thing. Maybe TRS 26 Standard Edition is going to feature a more polished version of HD Terrain without the box. Who knows? Without the box? What box? Would be great if there were modular slide splines when it's supposed to go downhill. Yeah. Maybe one day you'll make them. Who knows? Like slide start, slide middle, slide end, slide splines. My park bin's repaint of your black litter bin. Yeah, I've used them on quite a few parks, like over here by the station. Actually, no, that's the old one because that's on the road. Where did I use it? I know I used it around here somewhere. Where? Oh, right over here. Yeah, that's Kango's repaint of my bin asset. Those are already on the DLS, by the way. Oh, hello, Emichu, welcome. Oh, I didn't expect you to still be streaming. Yeah, well, we started late because of technical issues, so like 10-15 minutes late or something like that. Although I am about to end the stream. Hi, how are you holding up? Same old thing. I ranted about last meetup, unfortunately. Ah, I see. Yeah, it's annoying. Oh well. Hope it'll pass soon, yeah. Shadows, also, just to let you know, we have gonna touch overtime. Yes, but we did start late because of technical issues that were not my fault. Out of the box. Oh yeah. Black liquor bin. Glad to have caught a bit at least. Yeah, well, I mean, it's always nice to have you in chat. Right, so this will be, the archive will be on YouTube in the not too distant future. And yeah, I hope that it won't be as long till my next root building stream. Yeah, there's a ferry here. It ferries cars and people. I mean, the showcase of all the new stuff that I built is at the beginning of the stream, so you can watch the archive of that if you so choose. And yeah, although I do want to very, very, very quickly show you the cliffs, because I'm really happy with how this turned out. With the path down there. Anyway, I do have to finish up now. So, thank you all very much for watching. Shall we to London? Yeah, this little village is called London. It's not finished yet, but it's quite nice, quite cozy. Anyway, yeah, that's it. Good night, everybody. Are those health bars? Those are the commodity bars. So you can see, for example, yeah, here you've got the passengers, where there's 1 out of 16 waiting here. Because for some reason these have 2 separate queues, but when you go into the properties, then it's only got the 1 queue listed. So I'm not really sure what that's about, but yeah, it's product queues. Shadows with a flower boat, yeah. Nice little rowboat with flowers in. And this is all, like, these are all separate, these are all separate pieces. I can't really select it because of the hitboxes, but also with the cliffs. Like, all of these rocks are separate assets that I placed down and rotated and everything. Anyway, I guess they do look a little, look like health bars. Yeah, they do. It's fun. Never thought of that. Anyway, yeah. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.